What's going on, guys? Mr. Mac here again for another quick review, and today we're going to take a look at substitution. Also is sometimes referred to as simplifying algebraic expressions, but in particular we're going to look at simplifying algebraic expressions that involve substituting. All right, so let me get these screens fixed up here and I'll show you what we're talking about today. All right, there we go. So substitution, it's basically like this, guys. Let me show you like a real simple example here on the board. If I have x plus 1, and then I were to tell you that x equals 2, then with substitution, all you guys have to do is replace this x with 2 and then simplify. So replace this x with 2 and I end up with 3 as a simplification, right? And that is basically what substitution is, although obviously they can get a little more complicated than just x plus 1, but the idea is the same. So let's take a look at a couple of problems. Let's take a look, for example, at number 1, okay? So number 1 there on the screen says 6f plus 4f plus 8 minus 7. And then they tell us that f equals 6. So for substitution, what we want to do, the very first thing we want to do is substitute anywhere we see an f in our expression. So there's one there and there's one there. We want to erase that and replace it with a 6. Okay? Now, since it's going to go right next to another number, I'm not just going to put 6 in there because then that becomes 66. And it's not 66, it was 6 times f, right? Because anytime a variable is next to a number, that means multiply. So I'm going to put parentheses around it to show that it means to multiply. And I'm going to do the same with this f here. Now, in order to simplify this expression, I'm going to follow PEMDAS, the order of operations, right? So there's no parentheses to solve. There's no exponents. There is multiplication. 6 times 6 is 36. And then 4 times 6 is 24. And this plus 8 I can bring down, and this minus 7 I can bring down. Now I can simplify this by just adding and subtracting. So 36 plus 24 is 60, plus 8 is 68, minus 7 is 61. So if I can take this long expression and I can simplify that just into 61, I would much rather do a math problem that only requires me to use 61 than one that requires me to use that original expression, which was kind of complicated looking. Let's take a look at number 2 here. Negative 6 minus 12 divided by r. And they tell us that r equals 4. So once again, I'm going to substitute r with 4. And now I can go ahead and simplify this expression. Let's follow PEMDAS. There's no parentheses or exponents. Multiply, divide. There is a division problem right here. Remember, a fraction bar means to divide. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. And now I'm left with a subtraction problem. Negative 6 minus 3 more is negative 9. And that would be the answer. Let's take a look at number 3. We'll do 2 more. Negative x divided by 3 minus 5 plus 7 times x. And they're telling us that x equals 12. So just like before, I want to, wherever there's an x, I'm going to replace it with a 12. So I'm going to put that in parentheses because it's 7 times 12. And then I'm going to replace this x also with a 12. Doesn't need parentheses because it's not next to any other number. And then follow PEMDAS. Because everything is changed to numbers, now I can simplify it. So parentheses, no. Exponents, no. Multiply, divide. So here's division. 12 divided by 3 is 4. Here's multiplication. 7 times 12 is 84. Now I just add, subtract. So negative 4 minus 5 is negative 9. And then negative 9 plus 84 is 75. Okay? So that's basically it, guys. Let me show you one more quick one here. So I've got this one in parentheses. Let's do number 4. -3, and now I have parentheses, 2h minus 9. And they're saying that h equals 2. Do the same thing I did before. I see 1h there, so I'm going to replace that with a 2. Okay? Now everything is turned to numbers. I have no variables, so I can go ahead and simplify. Follow PEMDAS. So parentheses first, and inside the parentheses we do multiplying first. So PEMDAS applies to inside the parentheses as well. So 2 times 2 is 4. Now I can subtract 4 minus 9, which is -5. So I've done my parentheses. There's no exponents here. Now multiply, divide. Well, this is multiply. -3 times whatever's in here, which is -5. And we know a negative times a negative equals a positive, and 3 times 5 is 15. So basically, guys, that's it for simplification and substitution. If they tell you what the variable equals, go ahead and substitute that number in for every variable, change everything to numbers, and then simplify everything down to one final number. Okay? So I hope that helps you guys. Keep up the outstanding work you guys are doing this year, and I'll see you next time for another quick review.